Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I am Rakeeb. I lead product strategy for the collaboration and productivity products at Zoho. And here are some of my predictions. Human-centric work models will redefine productivity. I know this is an absurd statement to make when all we see is generative AI topping these trends and AI companies being founded every other day. However, look closely and you'll see a significant number of organizations striving to get this human touch just right. So here are three trends we are bound to see in 2024 as a direct result of this human-centric approach. Number one, employees will return to office, but not every day. So joint team days when everyone works from the office will be a boon to collaboration, even if they're met with some kind of resistance at first. This arrangement can be a few days, a week, or even once a month. When and how many days this arrangement has to be done can be determined by the respective teams in advance. However, it's very important that this arrangement stays on for the rest of the year. Secondly, chat will become the default UX for work. So the next step for both organizations and tech vendors together is to bring people into these high quality chat applications and help them navigate their workflows around the same chat interface. So picture chatbots effectively notifying managers about deals that have been closed, or them requesting for approvals or for expenses or leaves, and sending timely reminders for upcoming meetings or events. So envision people acting on these notifications as well directly from the chat interface, such as approving these expense reports, for example. So employees will no longer need to shuffle through multiple tabs to just get their everyday work done. Cultural affinity will be a priority. We saw some outcomes of this during the recent OpenAI coup as well. Employees should have greater opportunities to listen and talk to senior leadership directly, whose mission eventually drives the company forward. So consider hosting live events that can also be streamed to all your regional offices, or conducting open forums like weekly or monthly, ask me anything, town halls and things like that. So that's about it from me. Wish you all a very, very happy and productive 2024. Signing off. Bye-bye.
Hi, VMblog reader. This is Bill Chappell, Director of Solutions Enablement at Stratodesk. As 2023 winds down, I think it's important to reflect on what went right and what went wrong last year, identify the challenges that we have ahead of us, and come up with a game plan for success in 2024 and beyond. With that said, we believe that there's going to be an continued increase in cloud native applications while Windows applications slowly get replaced. And this is going to drive a demand for an endpoint operating system that's designed around enterprise security rather than just typical consumers. At the same time, another challenge is that users are not in corporate facilities anymore. Users are everywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, connected directly to the internet. Industry analysts also claim that over 80% of ransomware and other data breaches occur at what they call the human element, which is right where the end user interacts with the endpoint device. This is where Stratodesk can simplify this transition. We can help with a seamless transition from Windows to web applications. And since it was designed around the most recent security frameworks, the attack surface has been significantly reduced. It protects web and SaaS applications. It protects unified communications as well as VDI, DAS, or cloud PC access. And it also supports various ownership models. As we look towards the future, businesses must embrace both opportunities and challenges and stay ahead of emerging trends and adopting focused solutions like Stratodesk No Touch. From all of us here at Stratodesk, Have a great and prosperous 2024.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I'm the head of emerging technology for Arcules. I have a few predictions for next year, starting with generative AI. This has already been a hot topic for the past year. However, the rate of innovation in this area is outstripping the pace it can be deployed usefully. Over the next year, I expect to see companies productizing the experiments they've been running, leading to further innovation, changing the way that we interface with not just information, but applications and systems holistically, from more current ideas around search and chatbots through to more complex systems requiring in-depth reasoning utilized in medical and engineering fields. Next, I foresee more changes in localized manufacturing. As tensions are raised globally, there are additional risks and costs being added to existing businesses, such as supply chain issues, IP transfer restrictions, transportation of goods, as well as others. With these issues, there will be a greater push for companies and countries to invest and build upon localized manufacturing. Consequently, this will spur a new wave of jobs, companies, and advancements in the optimization of manufacturing. These areas may include robotics, automation, digital twinning, and others to ultimately spur and reduce costs on these companies. Lastly, data compliance will start truly impacting businesses. This has been building for years, but many states have or are coming upon the final hurdles to implementing laws surrounding personal data usage. This year, many will begin to be tested as cases are brought due to increased awareness. It's unclear how prepared organizations are to ensure they are following the relevant laws and regulations in each state, given the lack of federal law. Companies who work overseas may have a leg up if they've had to handle GDPR or APPI regulations in the past. If this is not already on your mind, it should be in your top 5 for next year. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, and happy holidays.
Hi, this is Ron Oglesby from Login VSI, and I want to talk about my 3 predictions for 2024. Now, I'm not taking the tack of it's the end of VDI or the year of VDI or anything in our space. I actually looked at it from, kind of things we wouldn't expect. And the first one I was talking about was AI. Everyone's talking about how AI is going to impact their industry, their technology, their customers, things like that. And I actually see AI taking a longer time to impact our EUC technologies than I think some of the others. I think it lends itself better to some others. But one of the things I see for 2024 is that AI is good enough to start automating some of these tasks and jobs that, we know are going to be the first targets of AI. And that might be things like call centers, customer service, phone trees, right? We've all done it. Press 8 to dial a person that actually might speak to you. As AI gets better and that can handle that, that's going to reduce the number and need for these kind of cookie cutter desktops for call center workers and other types of staff like that. That will impact our business, right? It's not a huge percentage globally, but it's a significant percentage in some environments. And that kind of leads me to my second thought, which was hybrid will continue. We know that after COVID, kind of post-COVID, now we're at the tail end of the post-COVID. There was some pullback as people went back to the office and as folks looked at their costs for putting desktops on the cloud and all this stuff they did in COVID just to get through it. I think it's actually did something that we knew would eventually happen, right? Cloud costs it's not exactly cheaper. It's a different platform, a different model, better benefits. But for a simple Windows desktop to host some apps, customers see hybrid, right? And it's a cost savings in a lot of cases, especially if they don't have a lot of existing infrastructure or sunk costs into an existing model. And the final thing I want to predict is what's going to happen a little bit in security here in 2024 when it comes to EUC. Now, it's funny, all 3 of these things, none of them are our specialty or my specialty at Login VSI. I'm just an EUC geek. But one thing I see with our security is that when we think about EUC, especially the traditional EUC, which is VDI, terminal services, multi-win, whatever you want to call it, multi-session, our security is 1985. Sorry. We're using a perimeter defense model. We build firewalls. We put in SSL gateways. We put in an authentication mechanism. You have to have a token. You've got your authenticator app, whatever. All of it is still perimeter security before the connection. Then you make the connection. I'm in a desktop. I'm in your environment. Windows apps and the Windows infrastructure doesn't lend itself to like a zero trust very well, right? How do I actually, as you instantiate a connection to data from a mobile app, I could say, hey, wait a minute, where are you coming from again? Verify the status of your actual device you're connecting to, stuff like that. But Windows apps hosted is a two-hop system, right? That Windows machine that's connecting to some piece of data on the back end, whether it's a file server, a database, whatever, it doesn't know anything about where this client's coming from. There's like this separation. I think that's what's going to happen is security companies see this. It's a known problem. They also know that these apps aren't going away. They'll start to build some tools that'll allow us to take this more kind of what we consider a legacy model, when compared to like mobile devices and all that, and start to apply some of the visibility and tools they need inside there to see what's going on. And if not get a pure zero trust model, at least give companies the ability to secure these better. Once I'm in the session, I have access to everything. I shouldn't have access to everything. And that's an old concept, right? We used to separate our PCI compliant environments from everything else. All that type of security is now wrapped up, and VDI is one of the last guys to really get into it. Those are my predictions. Have a great 2024.